All right, here we go, folks. It is Fantasy Football Now. I am Tito, Jeff Thitoff. He is Chad Rink. You can follow us I'm on the X at That Happened. He's at Chad Ochorinco. We're at FanStream DSP. We are powered by FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media. Download the app. It's free for Apple and Android users. Check that out. We got round-the-clock programming, all these great new shows we're adding. Rink, it's been a hot minute, my man. How you doing?
I am well. It has been a while.
Yes.
We kind of tapered off at the end of last season, but I think this year we're going to come back stronger. So excited to be talking fantasy football.
The NFL draft in the books now, and it's like, just like if you do it the right way, there's no off-season fantasy football, just like there's no off-season in the NFL. And a lot we're going to talk about today is about dynasty things, but we'll also dive a little bit into what the draft does for long-term prospects for some of these guys. And the first part of the draft, first of all, the full transparency here, Rink is a Bears fan. And so he has to be pretty excited about what happened in the draft. There it is, with the fact that the Bears picked up Caleb Williams, the first quarterback taken in the draft, obviously. 6 gone in the first 12 picks. And so looking at obviously, first of all, they've surrounded Williams with talent that Justin Fields never had, which is fine. It's what they're doing. The receiving core they got here. What are your expectations for Caleb Williams in year one?
So for full disclosure, I hate it. We got rid of Fields. I personally don't think Williams is all that. I don't think he's the guy they think that he is. I think it's weird that 6 of the first 12 were quarterbacks. I don't think this quarterback class is that good, personally. For me, it starts with Chicago. There's trouble up there in that Windy City with a capital T, and it rhymed with G, which stood for Getsy. I could do the same thing because it rhymes with E and it stands for Eberflus, and it could possibly rhyme with P and stand for Poles. But we're going with Getsy right now. It was just bad situation. Getsy was horrible. But going to this year with Caleb Williams, if you were going to take a quarterback, I think he's the guy to take. I just think there's a lot of red flags. I think his dad it kind of pulls off some Lamar ball vibes. I don't think he's that smart of a quarterback. I think he's talented, and
Right.
If you just look at him at USC, he did a lot of amazing things. He could run around, hold the ball for 9 seconds, and then throw it a wide open guy because they're playing the Pac-12 defense, which he's not going to do that in the NFL. The Bears' offense line still is not that great. I'm one of the few that think the talent. People keep talking about this Bears offense. I'm like DeAndre Swift. I've always liked DeAndre Swift, but he was only good in an amazing Philadelphia Eagle offensive line. He was not great at Detroit. DJ Moore's great. Keenan Allen's north of 30. He's been injured often, and he's more of a possession receiver, which we'll talk about Rome later, which I was not super excited about that. He's kind of like Keenan Allen. So we've got 2 Keenan Allens, one's younger. People keep talking about Cole Kmet as a top 5 tight end. He's fine. So my expectations are the Bears are going to be right around 500. I do like Waldron being there. I think he's going to be able to scheme some things. I think they're going to try to run the ball a lot more, and they're going to try to, not let Williams do too much. But here's my take on Williams is, he's going coast to coast from LA to Chicago.
Right.
But he's not going to be a smooth operator as a quarterback.
I love the Big Daddy Kane reference. So I wonder, would you be comfortable with Caleb Williams as your in a 1 QB league as your backup quarterback?
I think I think for this year, if we're just talking any format, I think
Right.
Williams and Daniels I don't think any of these guys should be your QB1.
No, I agree.
And I think Williams is the guy. If you're going to take a rookie quarterback, it's Williams and Daniels. I think Williams is in the better position. I just don't think they're going to let him just throw the ball all over the place. I think that defense is really, really good. It could be a top 5 defense. And they've got playmakers, and I think with Waldron there, I think they can do some stuff that he's going to look decent doing it and stuff like that. But I don't mind him what is going on with my computer? I'm getting stuff popping up on my computer. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I don't love this quarterback class either. I think Caleb Williams was the right pick, but if I'm looking for somebody to start this year, if I had to pick one of the 6 to start, I'd rather have J.J. McCarthy. I think he'll take the job rather early. And when you've got those weapons there with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, you've got Hawkinson there, and I know Aaron Jones is also an old guy with a lot of carries on his body, but but they've got a better offensive coaching staff, I think, than the Bears do. And so I think that's where I would lean if I was going to take one. I can't get a read on Daniels, the Commanders, that they got a new coaching staff in there. So we're not sure how they're going to scheme in all of this. Look, they've got Kingsbury there, who's had some success, but also has had some of the shines off him as well too.
Yeah. Like I said, this whole class I'm not super impressed because I think Daniels is going to kind of just struggle. He's going to take his lumps. I think he's talented. He's going to get you, I think, the most rushing yards of any of the quarterbacks that are probably going to start. I'm just staying away from Drake, but I think the Patriots just offense in general is just so bad.
I'm with you.
Like dynasty leagues, fine, take a chance. We'll see what happens, but stay away from him. We'll come back to Penix envy here in a minute.
Well, let's do this for me. Rank, in your opinion, give me the top 3 in order that you have for dynasty league and just for redraft leagues for this year. Give me your top 3.
For dynasty leagues, it's going to be with the dynasty leagues. I think it's going to be, and I think you still have to go Caleb Williams 1 because if he happens to be, you just take away. I don't think he's going to be good, but if you're drafting, he could put it all together. And then I think it's Michael Penix #Penix envy 2, just because I don't think that pick was as bad as everyone was saying, just because it's Kirk Cousins. It's not he's old. He's coming off an injury.
Torn Achilles. He's 30. He'll be 36.
Yeah. And you've got a young offense. So why not? I think that we should really be bad mouth. Sean Payton should be getting crushed. Taking Bo Nix at Bo Nix at 12. Bo Nix is my age, I think. He's been around forever. That being said, I think he could maybe do something this year, but I don't know. So I'd say Caleb Williams 1, I think Michael Penix 2, and I'm with you. I think McCarthy 3, just because that offense is good. Right. But we don't it's one of those things people I'm not a big McCarthy guy, and the fact that he was getting talked about getting as in the top 10 and no one talked about him all year, and the people that want to say McCarthy is well, he didn't have to do much at Michigan. Yeah, but if he could do something, don't you think Jim Harbaugh would have been able to unlock that? So I just think if you have Justin Jefferson, you got to be a top 3. So that's how I would do it. But I really don't like this quarterback class. I think in about 5 years it's gonna, we'll find out. So that's my dynasty.
My dynasty, I'm with you. And by the way, I've never seen somebody more painfully say the name of the number 1 overall pick in the draft for my than you looked when you said Caleb Williams. But I'm with you. I think Caleb Williams probably for dynasty. That'd be the guy I was taking if I was looking for a quarterback there. My second choice, I think I would take Penix, like you said, and they're at the pick. But I know the argument is, well, the Packers have done this before. They had Aaron Rodgers sit for a few years. They had Jordan Love sit. It's worked out okay. The Packers also were at a different spot roster-wise, but I don't have a problem with doing this. So I don't have a problem with backing it up. Look, you're paying your quarterbacks now. You got Penix on a rookie deal, Cousins on a monster deal, but combined, it's not a terrible 1-2 punch to have. I don't think so. And you're right. Coming off the Achilles injury, who knows? And I don't think the Falcons didn't want to go with a lesser quarterback at number 2 if they had to. Right. So I've got Penix 2 in Dynasty, and my third one, I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. In a redraft league, I would go McCarthy 1. I would go Caleb Williams 2, and in a redraft league, I think I'd have to go Daniels 3 in that one.
Yeah, I tell you, in a redraft league, I still think I go Williams 1. I think he just got the biggest ceiling of all. 2, probably McCarthy, just because he's going to have the job most likely. And you got Justin Jefferson, you got Hawkinson, so 2, and then 3. I tell you, 3. Daniels got the running thing, but Washington is. I'm telling you, as much as I dogged him, it may be Bo Nix. Who knows? I just wouldn't. Just don't draft a rookie quarterback in a redraft league. That's
I don't. I'm not rooting for McCaffrey. I don't like McCaffrey either. I'm with you. You're right. They say the things about, oh, he's just a winner. You know who else is a winner? Todd Blackledge. They took Todd Blackledge ahead of Dan Marino and
Tim Tebow's a winner.
Kelly. Yeah.
Tim Tebow, yeah.
Yeah, he's a winner. That's right. Yeah, another winner right there. Doesn't mean that he's good.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the running back now. No running back was taken until Jonathan Brooks went to Carolina in the second round. Brooks comes in at 6 foot tall, 216 pounds. And so is he the immediate starter now, you think, over Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders, as long as he's healthy?
Maybe. I think it all depends on camp. I think like Hubbard, like they didn't use Sanders at all, so I don't even know what Miles Sanders' role anywhere is now. Right. But I think he is. I think it'll probably take him a few weeks. I don't think they're going to throw him in there, and they'll probably just wait for Hubbard and Sanders, see what they have, and then because plus if I'm Carolina, I'm probably doing Hubbard and Sanders, running them more often in the first 3 games, because if they show something, then you could maybe flip one of those guys. Because the Carolina's just gonna be bad. So as much as Brooks could have the biggest opportunity, that team's just bad. And I don't even think he's the best running back that came out of this class. So,
all right, who's your best running back?
My favorite running back coming out is Jalen Wright. He just happened to go to Miami. I think Trey Benson may be in the best spot of everybody, though.
Okay, so Benson, Florida State's Benson, also 6 foot 216. Cardinals in the 3rd round, and James Conner's about to turn 30. Benson, I think, is a 3-down back, but whatever with Conner. Conner had a decent last couple of years there with Arizona, but like I say, he's about to turn 30, which is going to set things back a little bit. He gets there with Kyler Murray, Marvin Harris Jr., kind of this rebirth of this Cardinals offense. I think I like Benson better than Brooks. Also, God, I'm not sure about Jalen Wright, though. Jalen Wright, my problem with Jalen Wright, Chad, is that I know Raheem Mostert just turned 32 or is about to, whatever, will be done soon, but you got your boy there, Devon Achane there. And so, I know that running backs by committee happen all the time now, but I just thought that was a little bit early for the Dolphins to take a back when you've got the backs you've got this year.
Yeah, he was a guy I was really hoping would go to a spot where he could just start right away. Like I said, I don't mind man because Mostert, he's shown he's been hurt. He's 30. Right. Achane is electric, but he's never gonna be a 20 carry guy. The only problem is Achane's gonna be on the 3rd down, 2-minute drill type thing. So that's the only thing about I think Benson, if you're talking like redraft, maybe the only one I try to take early to kind of depend on. Even with Blake Corum, because I think Blake Corum's good, but he goes to LA and they just Colin Williams and stuff. So who knows? Like this guy's. I think the running backs are interesting when it comes to like dynasty longer terms. There's a couple guys that could be kind of sneaky, but I think overall this
here because we're drafted against each other here coming up. Are you telling the truth?
Yeah, I am. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, 'cause I'm at 5 in the one draft that we have in the rookie draft.
We got a couple of drafts coming up together.
Well, yeah, but your league, you don't have to worry about me for a rookie 1st round pick. So
that's true. You never keep them.
So I don't think I have one for ours. So, but no, it's just I think overall this entire draft, I thought that what the Bears should have done is if you could trade down and stay in the top 3, get Marvin Harrison Jr. and then trade. I thought you should trade up. I thought if you got 2 picks there, take Harrison, take Joe Alt. Those are the only 2 guys I think are going to be anything like elite out of this entire draft. I mean, there's some defensive guys that I kind of like, but like I don't think this draft was really had elite talent.
I looked up so Kyren Williams number, Corum going 3rd round of the Rams, and Kyren Williams turns 24 in August. Still a very young guy, obviously.
Yeah.
Last year in 12 games, he had 1,144 rushing yards. He had 32 catches for 206, 15 total touchdowns. Average 112.5 total yards per game. And so, and I know Corum's a different type of back than Williams is, but still, that's only gives me pause on him. And then the 2 guys we haven't talked about yet, Marshawn Lloyd goes to Green Bay in the 3rd round. They've got Josh Jacobs and A.J. Dillon. The deal with Josh Jacobs when they signed him, interesting, it's a 4-year deal, they said, for 56, whatever the number was. But it's really it's like a 1-year deal. It's like team options, I think, after the first couple of years even. So they could cut loose after 1 year with him and then go with just an A.J. Dillon and Marshawn Lloyd combo back or just give Lloyd the bulk of the carries. I'm not sure. But I'm not a huge Lloyd guy. I think Jacobs will take the bulk of the carries on that one. Lloyd comes in at 5'9", 220.
Yeah. Same way. I think this year it's more long term if you just happen to like the guys or a situation. But none of these guys really are coming into a situation where like, yes, I love that situation. So it's just more long term. Even like Bucky Irvin, like they got Rashad White, but I like that they didn't even use Rashad White that well. And I don't like. And there's a guy like I could sit on here and act like I'm a big Isaac Guerendo guy. I have no idea who that guy is. However, the Niners drafted him. So like, outside of Trey Sermon, he could have something, but again, I don't know. Like once you get past some of these guys, I don't know. But again, like the running back, I think this entire rookie class, I think, and this is a little thing when you think about dynasty and stuff like that. Sometimes we get too excited about future draft picks because like, oh, this class is great. This class is great. And now you're in this class and I'm like, I don't know, like Marvin Harrison Jr. And once we get the receivers, I do like the receivers quite a bit.
Yeah, let's talk about the receivers now. And Marvin going number one, as far as first receiver goes, number 4 overall to the Cardinals. And there was talk about, a lot of people had, Malik Neighbors ranked ahead of him or whatever, and had different things they were trying to nitpick a little bit at Marvin Harrison Jr. But look, there's nobody more NFL ready than Marvin Harrison Jr. as far as receivers go, maybe as far as any position goes.
No, I mean, like, and again, it goes back to this. It's so weird how after the college football season ends, everyone has these things, and then you get these combines where people are throwing in shorts, no defenses, and all of a sudden guys go up. Like, it's super easy, I think, if you're going to be watch film.
Right.
And look first, like you can't, even though Harrison didn't play much last year because he got hurt and didn't watch the film. He just does things that are different. So he is by far, if you have the one in any rookie draft, he should be the one, and it's not even close.
Even in a super flex, is he your one?
I think he is in this year because I don't like any of these quarterbacks. Even Trevor Lawrence hasn't really panned out that well.
Sure.
And even he was a guy I would have taken, if he was coming out the same year, I would have probably taken Lawrence in a super flex just because you don't know. But I just don't like these guys. Harrison, I think, can come in and he's going to be the guy because Hollywood Brown's gone. He's got a veteran quarterback. So I think he's going to get the targets.
Malik Neighbors goes to the Giants. As you mentioned, Rome Odunze goes to the Bears. And you're looking at the situations there where which quarterback do you like more this year? Danny Dimes in New York, or do you like Caleb Williams in Chicago? That's a great. I mean, I don't think it's an open and shut case.
No, it's not. Like the problem with Odunze is I think he's going to be like he'll be the 4th option in the passing game. So I think he'll be behind him in Kmet. The good news with him is he's only a Keenan Allen injury away from being the wide receiver 2 there. So I like him. With Neighbors is kind of a field stretcher, and didn't they just draft Jalen Hyatt? And it's Danny Dimes. So I don't know. I think I would in a redraft. I don't know. I think I like the Bears offense better, but the Giants don't have Saquon anymore. So I don't know. I think I like another guy better than both of them that went a lot later.
Well, interesting because if you look at the Bears depth chart, they actually have a position, KAIA, which is Keenan Allen injury away, which is where they have him placed. The Chargers used to have that, but now they don't have it anymore.
It's smart.
Yes. For the KAIA. So, all right, let's go to the next couple of receivers who were taken there in the first round. Brian Thomas Jr. Goes to the Jags, who lost Calvin Ridley in the offseason here, and also you have Xavier Worthy. Look, the Chiefs, it's just sick what they do. Yeah. And maybe Xavier Worthy will be a bust, but right now I think everyone's afraid of the Chiefs getting Xavier Worthy. And I don't know if we'll see the volume from Xavier Worthy just because they're going to throw it to Kelsey a lot and they've still got other weapons there. A lot will depend on the Rashee Rice situation.
Right.
But, do you like Thomas better than Worthy?
Like you got to kind of like guys in Chiefs offense, but like you said, weren't we just doing the same song and dance with Sky Moore and what happened with him? Yeah. You just never know with that offense. And he just the Chiefs have kind of gotten to the point where with Tyreek gone, they really don't outside of Kelsey, they just kind of pepper everybody. Again, now if Rice misses some time, then I think Worthy is worthy of going after. But I'm not so sold. I think what they're going to do a lot too is I think they did last year. Hey, we got a good defense.
Right.
Let's run Pacheco. And they're not going to be throwing the ball, slinging around as much as maybe they used to. So he's not even the guy I like. So I think I like him better than Thomas just because of the offense he's tied to.
I can't wait to the guy you like more.
Yeah. It's not Ricky Pearsall either. So
it's not Ricky Pearsall. Is it Xavier Legette?
No, it is not. It's the next guy.
Xavier going to Carolina, Ricky to San Francisco. I'm not that sold on Ricky Pearsall either.
Nah,
I feel like the 49ers are trying to get a little too cute with that one. Like, all right, look, we'll turn anybody into a star wide receiver, a star offensive player.
Yeah.
A little bit reach on that one. I'm not big on him. Is it Keon Coleman? Is that who
it is Keon Coleman. Just because Diggs gone. I believe isn't Gabe Davis gone too? And even if not, Gabe Davis is only good for one playoff game. Yeah. And I do like,
I think he's gone also, yeah.
Yeah, Shakir's there, but he's more of a field stretcher. I think Keenan Coleman tied with Allen. They will score some points. And so if he ends up being the wide receiver one with a Josh Allen offense, give me that all day long. So he's actually my number 2 rookie receiver behind Marvin Harrison Jr.
See, with Coleman, the only scares me is that we don't have a lot of great tape on him. I mean, he was very at Michigan State, and then this past year, he was better this past year, but he also missed some time this past year too. So but I think the talent's there.
Yeah,
it's just a question of, can he stay on the field and making the transition to the NFL. The Ladd McConkey to the Chargers. The Chargers don't have any receivers. He's okay, I guess, but I don't love him either. I wonder if they're going to make a move for somebody. The Jalen Polk thing, him going to the Patriots. Patriots are great at drafting receivers, aren't they?
They
really got a great track record there.
They always.
I think the last good one was Stanley Morgan.
It may have been, yes. And then Jermaine Burton is interesting maybe in dynasty leagues because Higgins. I imagine I was just down in Cincinnati for work, and I stayed with my buddy who is he's a guy that runs the Cincinnati League, and he's a editor for the Athletic. And the Bengals were
stayed with T. Higgins. That was really impressive.
No, I did not stay with T. Higgins. No, I could have stayed with Burrow. Burrow lived, I think, maybe 8 blocks away from my buddy. But anyway, Bengals are one of his teams and stuff that he has to cover, and he thinks Higgins is probably going to get the franchise tag, and he says, according to his guys, Higgins will play under the franchise tag. Because I think the Bengals really think, hey, we have a shot if Burrow stays healthy to win this year. Why not go all in, and then we'll just deal with the Higgins thing next year. So I think I think Burton could be good, down the line because Higgins is not a Bengal for long.
I like Roman Wilson to Pittsburgh too. I think they got a good steal in that one as well. He's super fast. I know he's not big, but I think they're going to use him the right way. They're using the slot right there, and they'll throw a lot of quick outs to him. And he doesn't drop passes. He's got I think he only dropped 1 pass in his last 2 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
In college. I hate Michigan guys, but I like Roman Wilson though.
Oh yeah, because they lost Johnson, so someone's got to step in there.
Yeah,
and they really don't have anybody. So I do like him. And then Troy Franklin too. He's getting a lot of buzz. But is he going to have and he's got Bo Nix as his quarterback too, so they have the connection from college. It's just, is that offense just going to stink? But I do like Troy Franklin's talent, and so he could be a little interesting as well.
There's one tight end that stood out above the rest, and that's Brock Bowers. Kind of weird that the fact that he went to Oakland, Las Vegas. Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know.
They just used a first-round pick on a tight end last year, and so I was a bit surprised by that. I thought they might go a different direction because they have a lot of holes there. They still have a quarterback hole they got to worry about. But Bowers, though, all the hype he's getting, it's a lot like the hype we have with Kyle Pitts. I don't know if it's going to come through or not this first year.
Yeah, I just think he's in a bad spot. I think he's probably better. I think he's going to be. If you had to tell me, I think he's more Sam Laporta than Kyle Pitts. So I think he falls in between just because I think that offense is going to be so bad. But it was a surprising pick that he went there. And then he's the guy. I mean, I still say talent. The talent is there.
Right.
take a chance on him. Ben Sinnott to Washington could be something if Daniels, it's just a rookie quarterback. You don't know what that offense is going to be. So maybe a late flyer. Like the one league we have a 4-round rookie draft. So 4th round, 3rd round, something like that. And then it's interesting that our boy Cade Stover,
right,
back with Stroud. So that's interesting. Just because he could get some touchdowns at the goal line, that kind of thing. But there's so many weapons for that Texans
offense. There's a lot there with Diggs there now, but
yeah.
I love the fact that Ohio State tight ends are a lot like in some ways they're like Ohio State quarterbacks, where based on the offense that Ohio State runs, you might not know how good or how not good a quarterback is.
Right.
Same thing with the tight ends. Like, I think Stover's got great hands. It's just with how many weapons they had at Ohio State also, it was hard for him to get a lot of looks. He worked a lot on blocking, and that was a lot of responsibility. But I think he can also, like in the one league I'm in where it's a Dynasty league and it's a 4-round draft, that you're not in this one, but I'm in this one, and I will absolutely look at Stover in the 3rd or 4th round and just stash him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because he's got that connection. Stroud's going to look at him, especially I think goal line stuff.
Yeah,
I can see him not having a stellar year, but he could get in 8 touchdowns or something like that, something weird. So yeah, he's one. Again, it's just tight ends. It's just one of those weird positions too, where there's a couple guys and that's about it. But overall, man, I don't think there's going to be a lot of immediate impact guys this year. But I don't even think long term that a lot of these guys are really going to be impactful. So you may even start looking to, if you can't get Harrison, and maybe if there's a couple other guys that you like, if you really like one of these quarterbacks, try to trade down, get next year picks, something like that. I would love to do that.
It's I also did, and I'm a sound homerish already. We talked about Stover, and I'm talking about Harrison, and we're both Buckeye fans. I'm a Steelers fan, but I think what the Steelers did in the draft with their offensive line could lead to a pretty big year for Najee Harris this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pittsburgh, Baltimore. There's just those teams. They know what to do. They're doing things right. They knew they had some offensive line issues. Again, I think the defensive side. I think the offensive line had quality guys that I think nothing amazing elite, but solid guys that come in. So Pittsburgh did that. Picked up a wide receiver. I thought it was amazing. They got to steal what they did with Fields because I think they realized Wilson's just a 1-year guy. He could get hurt. Fields is probably the best number 2 quarterback in the league. I mean, how could he not be? Because he's probably a top 15 quarterback in the league. But that's what it is. But those are the kind of things you want to look at too. What some teams did in other positions besides the skill positions that you're not going to be drafting. Did they get better on the offensive line? Those types of things, those kind of moves, because then it's going to help guys like Najee Harris. Because I think he's going to be the guy. I know Warren still is going to be a thing, but Najee Harris is good. So those are the kind of stuff you look at, especially the offensive line, even defense. If you look at defenses, did they get better on the defensive end? Could help a team offense with short fields.
Interesting too with the Steelers is that they've got, and not that it's somebody you draft in Dynasty, but they're drafting a league anyway. But if you're in one of those stupid leagues like Adam Kahn's in, where you have to draft full defenses and special teams, Cordell Patterson in Pittsburgh, has only, now the new kickoff rules will help him. He's only had returned 34 kicks in the last 3 years, 34 kickoffs. He only 16 in the last 2 combined. But in 34 kicks on 3 years in Atlanta, he averaged 25 yards a return, and he's got 9 career kickoff return touchdowns. But again, if you're a stupid league like his, that's where you want to draft him. So I think with these new kickoff rules, someone like him is going to certainly benefit from it.
Yeah. And don't be even if you have to draft punters, don't be like my Bears. I got to get this out there too. Hey, we have 4 picks. Let's draft a punter. What are we doing? I know he's from Iowa, but isn't that if you draft an Iowa punter, that's like drafting one of those a Wisconsin running back. He's got too many miles on his leg at this point and stuff like that. So it just the whole draft weekend was horrible.
You draft a punter if you have every other spot filled on your team with plenty of depth and talent.
Or if you have a 7th round pick, you just need a punter. It was crazy. So it's nuts. So like I said, it's over. The draft. So I'm glad the draft's over because I was sick and tired of keep hearing about it. And again, my brother's a Notre Dame fan. He's a Bears fan. He's more optimistic than me. He's like, hey, we'll give him a chance. I'm like, I am actively rooting against Caleb Williams. And with the Notre Dame fan, he's like, just go watch the Notre Dame tape. And I'm always like, go watch the end of the Washington game where he's crying in his mom's arms. I'm like, unless his dog just died, I don't know if he's got the leadership capacity. Did you just see, like, not to keep bashing on Caleb Williams, but that's what I'm here for. But did you see the interview with Ryan Clark when he's asking him about like why he transferred to Oklahoma and then why he went to Oklahoma? So he's talking to him. He's like, he transferred to Oklahoma because like, I wanted to get an opportunity. And Ryan Clark's like, but you knew like Spencer Rattler was there, who was being talked about at that point as being a first-round quarterback. So you went there knowing you're going to be behind a first-round quarterback. He's like, why did you go there? And he kind of looks off screen. He kind of points. He's like, development. I think he's one of those guys that's just lived on talent. He's not a guy that's making a lot of reads. And I think I'm telling you, he's going to get overwhelmed because that Bears offense is not as electric as a lot of Bears fans want to think it is. But a good thing is if our offense isn't that electric, we drafted a punter.
Folks, we'll be with you all season long, probably more often than you want us to be because we're going to keep talking fantasy football. We've got our rookie drafts coming up in a couple different leagues. Follow him on the X. He's at Chad Ochocinco. Matt said happens at FanScreen DSP on the X, fanscreensports.com. Download the app. It's free. Apple and Android users. Rink, my man. We'll do it again soon, bud.
Sounds good, man.